Holy smokes, fangirls and fanboys. We take a minute to catch our breath and pop culture goes bananas. We have a grip of movie trailers to discuss, not to mention the summer movies we've already seen and the summer movies you guys have seen and wanted to tell us all about. There's officially a new Spider-Man, the new Ghostbusters officially have a receptionist, and Chris Pratt is officially still our favorite celebrity. I don't want to waste another minute of your time. Step into the fan cave. Oh boy. Yeah. Kristen.
Corrigan.
What up? It is.
Corrigan.
It's been a minute.
I feel like it's been so long.
Doesn't it feel like forever? It's 2 weeks seems like a really long time.
Further than forever. Further seems forever.
Like, I get where you were going with that. It just didn't super work.
I know.
Speaking of further,
I thought it was going to.
Just on the note of further seems forever, this summer is like the best flashback summer of all time, because there is Dashboard Confessional and Third Eye Blind touring together. Going to see that July 19th in Irvine. There is coming up at Cinespia the all-nighter slumber party with Can't Hardly Wait, which is like, I can literally quote that movie from beginning to end, like,
and I honestly
straight
just kind of
up.
want to watch it with you. I don't have the same connection to it as you do,
but it's worth it.
But I do love it. It was one of those movies where when I watched it, if I had been super into it, like, and when in like my, back in the day,
in 1998,
I watched it. I was like, oh yeah, I would have effing loved this movie.
Yeah, right? Because you only watched it last year, right?
Yeah, and I loved it.
Yeah.
And it was like, usually you watch those movies, you're like, oh, it doesn't really hold up. I was like, this movie, I can see, why you love it, and B, that I loved it, and C, why I also loved it when I watched it currently.
Right, exactly. That might have been two of the same point, but that's okay. But yeah, I'm obsessed with Can't Hardly Wait. I just love this movie, as with all the Ethan Embry things. And from what it sounds like on his Facebook page, he's going to go...
Who's gonna go?
Ethan Embry. He's gonna go there. I know. I need to drink less wine than last time, because at the Empire Records one, he like came up to me and was like, Corrigan, and I like nearly
he remembered
peed.
You?
Yeah, he remembered me, and I nearly peed my pants, and made a total doofus of myself.
Yeah. No, yeah.
So clearly this time I need to not do that. Or
you should do that.
I should just pee. Just straight up, just embrace it and
pee, but maybe the other part.
No, just get a little excited. It's allowed. But they're doing Can't Hardly Wait, followed by Scream, which is another one of those movies that I can probably quote from beginning to end, and then Cruel Intentions right afterwards. It's an all-night slumber party.
Yeah. And really, you guys should see the like,
oh my gosh,
poster of it, because they have they've like kind of cropped it, they've used like the actual posters from the movies, but then cropped people out of it, and they've put Reese Witherspoon, and the Cruel Intentions one is like on Ryan Phillippe's leg in this like super weirdo position.
Is it even? I thought, isn't it on? You mean in the original poster?
Yeah. Okay. But in the new one, they've like moved her over. I don't even know what the guy's name is in real life.
It's William Lichter in the movie, Charlie Corsmo.
And Can Hardly Wait. So she's like on his leg, and he's got that look where he's like, he's a total idiot. He's like, Ma.
Yeah. And she's just fondling him lovingly.
This event, so.
Yeah. It is
a throwback summer.
It is a throwback summer. And then there's another thing
Wet Hot American Summer is coming.
Wet Hot American Summer coming to Netflix. We got that going on. Also, Jaws is in theaters again right now for the 40th anniversary. So it's just like...
I read a really interesting timeline article about sharks the other day.
Oh, did you?
Yes. So how, sharks weren't really like a national or like national, also national. Weren't really like a terror. People didn't really think too much of sharks because... nobody knew, or there's like, you have a greater chance of like getting hit by lightning than being eaten by a shark or something. And so it kind of traced like the very first kind of instance of them like even seeing sharks, and they called them not even sharks, they called them Tiburon, interesting, which was the name of like a Hyundai or something.
That's because it's Spanish for shark.
So anyway, blah blah blah, it's like, they see these sea monsters and they're like, these magnificent creatures, they're so great. Not really, because sometimes they eat people. But then the guy wrote Jaws whatever that guy.
Peter Benchley. Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote it, and then Steven Spielberg made it into the movie, and then that kind of launched into national consciousness of like, sharks are crazy, and then media frenzy. And if you even talk to, what's his name?
Peter
Michael
Benchley?
Fletchley?
Peter Benchley.
Well, Peter's brother, Michael's brother, Peter. He even says now, he's like, I wish I hadn't written it because now sharks are like so feared and like, oh, they're so terrible. And like, really, like they're not really. And like, people are like hunting them into, you know, which is like effing with the ecosystem. It was a very good article. Maybe we'll link to it.
Yeah, it was we can link to that timeline article. Fun. No, it's interesting because if you're like a Shark Week enthusiast as I am too, you know, like about the incredulity about sharks. So one of the things was like, you know, in the early 1900s when there was like a string of shark attacks and whatnot, that people were like, no, it couldn't be sharks because like sharks don't bite stuff. Like, they were just that certain about it. They were like, nah, sharks are chill, bruh.
Chill, dude. Like, bruh.
No, it's no big deal, bruh. They can hang.
It's like, they're cool, man. We, like, hang out all the time.
Exactly, you know? And
anyway.
and then...
Actually, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, at the theater down the street, they do, like, oldish movie. You know, oldish, not, like, classics, like black and white movies. Yeah. But anyway, they're showing Die Hard in September, which I'm very excited about. I texted my dad. I was like, they're showing Die Hard in the theater by my house on this random Monday. You should come out and we should see it. And he was like, okay, I'll be there.
I can't help but notice you did not CC me on that text, but
well, you don't check your text messages, so
that's okay, valid point. Touche.
You're still welcome to come.
Okay, yeah, touche.
I'll invite you. Can come. It's going to be delightful. I am planning on quoting it the whole time.
I feel perfectly okay about that. It's like, if I don't know a movie well, I hate when people do that. Like, I always hearken back to the time that I tried to watch Sleepless in Seattle in a room full of people.
I love Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah, and I'd never seen it. This was like junior year of college. And I was like, okay, guys, I've never seen this movie. Please don't quote along with it so I can enjoy it. And everybody quoted every line. And so the movie sucked to me. I was like, this is a stupid movie and I hate everything about it. But if I've seen the movie a million times, I don't care. Quote Die Hard. I'm going to be okay with it. No big deal. I'll probably quote with you. So I'm for that. But it's a summer of really good throwbacks. And I'm excited about that. But it's also, I mean, I feel spoiled by movies this summer.
You know?
Just in general.
I have by the movies that I've seen, and I feel like I could be more spoiled if I'd had some more time. But I feel as though in the next few days, when I have some time off, I'm gonna make up for that.
Right? No, I feel the same way.
I've got a list of the ones that I want to see.
Yeah, I'm really. What we should do is we should go through because what we did.
I made a list basically off of the list that we asked people like what they're excited. I'm like, I haven't seen that, but I'm going to add that to the list because I do want to see. Well, although a lot of them were already on there that I want to see.
Yeah, so let's taco about this because by asking this question, I asked our Fancave question of the week. What's been your favorite movie of the summer so far and why? And Kristen, do you have the Fancave page open?
I do. I don't have the page, but I have the link that you wrote.
Okay.
Actually, this is just on yours. It wasn't
okay, open up the Fancave page version, and I have the one with that I put on my page. And that way we'll get everybody.
Hold on 1 second there.
Yeah, you do that. So while we're thinking about the nice thing about everybody talking about theirs is there were things that like I had forgotten because already we're like a month and a half, 2 months into summer movies, and they just totally slipped my mind.
We're agreeing that summer movies start in May, right?
Yeah, May is pretty much the agreed upon. I
just want to say, let's define our terms of summer, because technically summer started on Sunday.
That's true. That's very true. While I was out camping and getting this tan that you see before me. Yeah.
Wish I had been camping.
Yeah, I know. I'm slightly browner than usual. It's hard to tell because
You have a glow.
I'm still that weird palish green color that I always am, but it's slightly browner. So, I mean, far and away, if I can just make the observation of overall, I think if we were to put it into like the top three, it goes Mad Max, Avengers, Inside Out. That seems to be the top three of everybody's things, but we can talk more about these. But that's like overall, I think that's what we get out of this.
I would say that. I would definitely say Mad Max is the one I've seen the most.
Yeah, absolutely, which is cool.
Which is cool because I actually, if we're allowed to give ours right now, I would say the favorite one I've seen so far would also be Mad Max.
Yeah, and I forget it's just there's been so many good ones this summer that I almost forgot that I loved Mad Max so much because there have been other ones.
I've not forgotten because I legit bring it up all the time with people.
Yeah.
That's probably my first question. Not like, hey, how are you? I'm like, hey, have you seen Mad Max?
Right. It's been like 10 years since I've seen you. What do you think of Mad Max?
Yeah. I mean, I know we don't talk a whole lot, but I feel like we could talk about it.
I think that's a valid way to judge whether your friendship has withstood the test of time. Is like, how do you feel about Mad Max? Are we good on that? We're copacetic? Yeah. Okay, cool.
I mean, in college, I gauged my friends on whether or not they liked my clown joke. So I feel as though this is a perfect substitute for that.
That's a very good point. Someday we'll make that a Fancave extra, but it'll be like censored. That's Fancave After Dark.
Censored.
Fancave. Not like censored. I mean, as in it's not in the actual podcast because this is a family show.
It is a family show.
But
it'll be extra, and we'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll.
But I did make all of my friends in college, and I can't give it away. After I tell it, I'll tell you why. One of my favorite college moments. Brought to you by Hillary Moriarty.
Yeah, it's a really good joke, you guys.
It's really.
We'll see. Maybe if we remember the song, keeping in mind that Kristen is drinking tequila and I'm having wine, that we might not remember anything by the end of this. But if we do remember, maybe we'll tell it and put it up as an extra. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Movies, though. Mad Max for sure.
Movies. So, okay.
And, Jurassic Park got a couple.
It did. Okay, so we'll go through them. Duncan. Mad Max, because explosions, also explosions.
And also, Duncan also commented on Electric Fancave saying Mad Max, and he said, and I remember him telling me this, and he's actually... I wanted to see this movie, but then his endorsement was like, okay, maybe I will see it. And then I've heard other people. And so he said, though Spy was shockingly fun. Not shocking that it was fun, but more fun than he expected it to be.
Right. Spy is definitely the surprise entry.
Yeah. Everybody I've heard from has been like, oh, it's so, like, I've laughed so hard at this movie. And
it's got, like, 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is unheard of for a comedy. Like...
Right? And I thought the commercials looked funny, so I'm like, I'll probably see it. Maybe it's at the $1 or whatever. And then he's like, no, you guys have to see it. And then, like, multiple people have told me, I'm like, okay. And actually, we were trying to go see it this week. It didn't work out, but it's on the top of my list. I think I'm going to want to see that one first, so.
Yeah, I considered going to see it today, and then I was tired and lazy, and I didn't. But that's on there. And so, there's that. Julie says Jurassic World. It brought back lots of memories and made her scared. It made her laugh, and it made her cry. Yep.
Did she cry with the theme song? I always cry.
Oh my gosh, how can you not when they start playing that? Ding,
today or yesterday, I was getting super into it, and I was telling someone about the old one, and I was talking about face acting, and I'm pretty sure we've talked about. I don't know if we talked about it here, or if it was just you, me, and Alex Blakey talking about it, but. You guys, we're super obsessed with face acting, and it's kind of my new, like, thing. I honestly think about writing, if I knew how to, like, make petitions that mattered, I would make one for this, even though it's not, you really should make things that, like, do social things, not lame things like this, but the face acting in that movie, it's like, and you hit it, Corey, on the head, it's like, you believe that they are seeing a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Like a real dinosaur.
Yeah. This is one of those things that, like, I know a lot of people didn't like Jurassic World. It's flawed. Don't get me wrong. Jurassic World is flawed.
Definitely not my favorite movie of the summer.
No, but it does give you that same sense that, like, people are seeing what they're seeing and, like, you believe them and there's that wonder. And one of the things that I loved about it is when I went and saw it, so we drove all the way out to Santa Maria to go see Jurassic World, which is about an hour north because Santa Barbara is very small. It's the worst. Yeah, it's a dumb place and it's stupid and I don't know why it exists.
It's not like to live here all the time.
Nobody is supposed to live here. And so we don't have any form of like IMAX or anything like that here. So we drove up to Santa Maria to go see it in RPX. But what happened was we got there and it was like the theater was so full that the only seats were like right up in the front. And Mac and I were like, hell no. But Wes and Juan and John were okay with it. So Mac and I went and saw it in the regular version. I feel like it's no coincidence that the other three hated it and we loved it. But anyways, I digress. We went and saw it, and the screen was huge anyway, bigger than anything that they have in Santa Barbara. And while we were in there, like, the kids in the theater were stoked on this, to the point where at one point there was like a scene with the Raptors that's really like hardcore and all this kind of stuff. And the kid sitting next to Mac got up and jumped and started, like, raising his arms and cheering. And it's like, that's Jurassic Park. Like, turn off your 30-year-old cynicism or whatever and imagine this from the point of view of a kid seeing it like you saw it in 1993.
Remember. That's the thing about movies, you guys. Here's the thing. I'm going to just do a quick rant. It's not going to be super long or annoying. But here's my thing. So I feel as though lots of times you have these people who are like, cynics about Jurassic World, or, they only watch movies like in, Swedish or something, and they're like, oh, but like the cinematography and like the thematic elements of this film. I'm like, you know what? Here's the thing about movies. People made movies, like you watch a movie to escape for a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. And so, and I'm not gonna bag on all like really great movies, because sometimes movies can really have a great social message or a really great, kind of heed to things. But is that the word I'm thinking of? Anyway,
I get where you're going with it, so I'm going to let it
like saying like, hey, like a warning or
right,
whatever.
It's like a call to action or...
Yeah, call to action. And don't get me wrong, they can do that and they're beautiful. And those are also great movies. But the thing that bugged me about some moviegoers is that they bash on the things like, Jurassic World, blockbusters, like, they're just out to make money. I'm like, here's the thing. Movies are supposed to be fun.
Right.
Like, movies that have a message about life also have their place, but there's also a place, and and I don't think it's worse than a movie that's in another language or whatever the heck it is. There's nothing like more not as like cultured about that movie, simply because it allows you to escape for a little bit. And It gives you 2 hours to not think about work, to not think about your kids, to not think about your parents, your friends, like the crap that you have going on. It lets you just kind of sit there and be like, you know what? I'm going to absorb myself. It's a story. People love stories. Like, humans throughout history have been just looking for ways to tell stories.
Yeah.
Movies are just another way that people do that. And it's beautiful and it's wonderful. And I feel as though we often get lost in that. It's like, we don't ever nominate things like Jurassic World, like Avengers, for actual, like, movies of the year. Because, that's not, like, artsy enough. That's like an action movie. I'm like, you know what? No, but those movies have a place, and they are great. And I think people dismiss them offhand as it just being whatever their genre is. Comedy movies often are never... I don't remember the last time, like, an actually funny movie was nominated. Right. Never. Like, that's not a thing that happens. But guess what? Like, movies are supposed to do that, and they're fun, and they're great. And, Jurassic... You're right. I thought the same thing. It came out... My first thought of Jurassic World was like, I don't know. Like, there were some things I really didn't like about it. But it was fun.
Yeah.
The guy with the margaritas, freaking Jimmy Buffett with the margaritas.
What?
Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, that is what movies are about. To be like, I mean, I was sitting next to cheese, and we both was like, oh my God. Like, of course. Like, so good.
Yes.
And it's stuff like that just is like, it's good, and it's humor, and it brings you, if it gives you a laugh for a little bit, and it allows you to... I'm not saying you should ignore your problems as like a life lesson.
Yeah.
But if you're able to let that go for a little bit and just kind of like let yourself get lost in something that someone's created and spend a lot of time on, like, just do it. Like, stop being so lame to people about like, oh, you like that movie? Ew. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I do like that movie. Yeah, I watched 3 Ninjas the other night, and it's completely ridiculous and the funkiest movie ever. But yeah, it was great, and I enjoyed it a lot, And I own all 5 Twilight movies. So what? So what? Sometimes you want a really good, cheesy love story that's completely ridiculous, and if you really think about it, destructive. But
well, definitely.
It's fun.
I mean, this is one of the things that...
about movies, and that's what I love about movies.
Yeah, this came up in the discussion of, like, Tomorrowland that I ended up having in this thread as well, because I really love Tomorrowland, as I've discussed in this before.
Yes,
and a lot of people don't.
That's also on my list of something that I want.
Yeah, a lot of people don't love it, and I understand that. I get that. But my thing is this idea that, like, okay, if I don't like Tomorrowland, then anyone who does like it is watching movies wrong. Like, it's just objectively bad writing and objectively bad filmmaking, and, if, like, whatever, if I didn't have taste, maybe I'd like it, you know, things like that. And it's like, no, people watch movies for different reasons. Like, there's the movies you watch for the mindless, like, just entertainment, which Jurassic World was. Like, you could see from the reactions of everyone in the theater around us, and from Mac and me at time, we were, like, looking at each other and being like, oh, did you see that? I'm like, it grabs things. The dinosaur grabs things, you know? And, like, we're just like, what? You know? And so there's movies you watch like that, or like with Tomorrowland and other like Damon Lindelof things. Did I disappear?
Yeah.
Okay. But with Tomorrowland and with other Damon Lindelof things and stuff like that, it's like usually when I watch those, I'm looking for, like, I like the political message or the philosophical message behind it and things like that. And, you know, I loved the kick-ass girls in it or whatever. But, so I'm looking for that in that movie. And we're all looking for different things. I also ended up having a discussion in this thread about It Follows, which I didn't like, but I'm like, it's not that I have a problem with other people liking it. It's just I had a bunch of problems with this movie, you know? Right. And so my thing isn't like anyone who likes It Follows likes terrible movies. It's that I'm like, here are the, like, 5 things that specifically annoyed me about this movie. I don't like it. I'm not going to buy it, whatever. But that's fine if you like it. And that's sort of, I mean, when it comes to summer movies, I think this brings it out so starkly because people, more than anything, is with the blockbusters and stuff that come out at this point, really draw those lines in the sand about what's a good movie. Mad Max is a good movie. Avengers is a bad movie. Jurassic World's a bad movie. Ex Machina is a good movie, you know?
Let's just agree to disagree. Let's say, hey, that guy likes that movie. I think if we did that a lot more, like, not only in just movies, like, I feel like we could really reach across the aisle on more issues than just film.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's a larger life lesson somewhere in this rant.
America, if you're listening right now, I just want you to know, just if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say anything.
Just don't say it. It's fine, you know.
Allow people to like things that you don't like.
Right.
That is not a threat to the things that you like.
Exactly.
It's not.
You'll
it's
survive.
It's not a threat to, quote, good filmmaking.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just not.
You know, just because people make more Jurassic Worlds doesn't mean you'll never be able to see your insert
Birdman.
Indie movie or whatever. Yeah, your Birdman or whatever.
I didn't see that one. That was like the only fancy movie I could think of right now. Mainly because I just watched this really funny skit on Jimmy Fallon with Michael Keaton that was so adorable that I was so like, much. Michael Keaton is wonderful.
Mm-hmm. He's amazing. He's a lifelong.
I was talking to this girl. She's 19.
Oh wow.
And I was like, oh, did you see, I was like, we were talking about the new Batman Superman movie. I'm like, oh, have you seen the trailer? You're going to go see it. She's like, I don't know. I'm kind of nostalgic for the, oh God. She's like, I'm kind of nostalgic for the old ones. I'm like, oh, the ones with Michael Keaton. She's like, no, the ones with Christian Bale.
Oh God, no.
Oh God. I'm like, the old ones. Those are the new ones.
Those are the new movies.
I'm so old.
Sweet Lord in heaven.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's terrifying.
Anyway, let's get back on track.
Let's get back on track.
So far off the reservation here.
We have. I mean, it all comes into play here. So
Melanie said that she said it's got to be Inside Out. Which, if I'm gonna be honest with you, Melanie, I am 100% could not be less surprised about that answer.
No, that is the most Melanie.
Actually, if someone would have asked me what your favorite summer movie would have been, I probably would have said Inside Out.
Yeah.
Or Cinderella if it had come out in May.
Yes, I 110% agree with that. If we were pressed,
anyway, I love
we'd be like,
said it made me feel all the feels, and in a weird way, it reminded me that I'm not alone. And I actually love that because, and this is one of the reasons I want to really see this movie, is even Mindy Kaling, I don't even know where I saw this, she said she was reading something about the movie when they were talking to her about being in it, and she said she started crying.
Yeah.
And they were like, the guys that were writing it were like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And she's like, it's just so wonderful that you're writing this movie about, like, having these totally crazy emotions and like telling these kids that it's okay or whatever it was that she said. And I was like,
and it was like whatever she said, they made it like the tagline of the movie.
Yes, and it was beautiful. And so I'm butchering it, but probably should look it up for what it is. But it was like, yes,
it's so good.
So,
and it's we went and saw this, a huge group of us. And again, I'm sitting next to Mac during this thing. And
hey, Mac, you should be here.
Yeah, Mac, who's supposed to be here, but he's busy playing video games. Psh, whatever. we didn't want him anyway. But no, I sat and I brought tissues because I was, as I've said on the Fancave many times, I was like, I'm going to cry through this movie, and I know it. And seriously, it was like all of us were, afterwards we got out and we were like, okay, how many times did you cry during this? Yeah. And, you know, Mac at one point was like, yeah, I almost asked you for a tissue, but I was too proud. But it like really, I mean, it's hard to explain how well this movie encapsulates emotions at that age, but one of the things that especially hits me is it's about a girl who's like sort of preteen age, and she moves to San Francisco, and she's from Minnesota, and it's like
Minnesota. Ooh.
Yeah, and she's enculturating to this new place and everything, and just slightly older than her, I moved to San Francisco from Massachusetts. And this was very much my experience. And so a lot of this just very much felt like I was reliving that period in my life. And I wished that some of the things that happened with her in this could have happened with me, so that it would have felt like the transition, you know, came full circle and felt really good. Yeah. But it was really, you know, it was just something to sort of, if I had seen this when I moved out here, it would have been really therapeutic to watch, you know. And I think for a lot of kids, not just kids who've moved from place to place or things like that, that was what personalized it for me, but in general, I think it really has a lot to say about that weird emotional state that you find yourself in those years. Right. That's just wonderful to see represented and feel like it's normal, like Mel's saying here, is just like to feel like you're not alone and be like, oh, this is a thing people go through. Okay. Yeah. Like, that's cool. Yeah. I'm glad to hear that happens. So, Inside Out is great. It
kind of reminds me, and now I'm going to butcher it, and I almost wanted to look it up, but I wanted to listen to you. Back when we were talking to Mike Mulcher, and he had that quote that he's like, I'm going to ruin it. Do you remember what he said?
I can't remember, and I know I even memed it because it was so good. Like,
I want to find it. It was something to that effect of, like, not being alone, like, as humans or as people, it's like, we always are searching, you know, something.
No, you look that up. Well, I'll keep talking and you find it.
Keep going. What else we got here?
So Seth says Mad Max because the scene where the bullet farmer loses his sight and immediately rebrands himself as the Scales of Justice while firing blindly into the night. That was funny. And then he said that's not really the main reason I like the film, although I do like that scene.
Seth.
Jen. I know, Seth's so good.
Seth who writes for Timeline.
Seth who writes for Timeline, which is amazing, and we constantly bring it up, but you should be reading it. Jen says, Avengers and Jurassic World for traditional summer blockbuster stuff, but truthfully, Spy was the hardest I've laughed in a long time, and so that for reals takes the case thus far. To which Duncan said, seriously, that movie was great. Bailey will agree, who's his fiance, and Bailey says, yes, it was great. And then, let's see, John Bring, I should specify because we have multiple Johns here. John Bring of Penguins vs. Possums. He said, Inside Out came out of left field as my favorite so far this summer. I doubt it'll be topped. Bing Bong straight made me cry. Bing Bong is a great character in it, sort of an imaginary friend, and played by the guy. Thankfully, Wes was able to pick this out partway through the movie as Mac and I were, like, struggling and were so annoyed we couldn't figure out who it was. It's played by the guy who plays the teacher of Kimmy Schmidt's GED class on the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. You know, the guy who wants to get in trouble so that he can go...
Oh, yeah,
he can go and...
That's not what he's known for. He's in
a ton of stuff, but...
Wasn't it Spin City was, like, his big role?
I've never actually seen Spin City, so I can't tell you that either way.
Well, but whatever. Anyway, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. He plays Bing Bong, and Bing Bong is just a great character. So, John, I'm with you on that. John Vanderhoff says Mad Max Fury Road. I love that this is like the most film PhD student way of phrasing this. It's like a log line. He says Mad Max Fury Road, a singular action experience that should not exist by all rights considering the trends of modern Hollywood.
Okay, get it, John. You're smarter than all of us, okay?
Whatever, Vanderhoff.
Gosh, that guy.
Yeah, nobody's right. He's totally right. So there's that. Jason says Avengers, Age of Ultron, because Avengers. Touché. Sean says, I know these didn't come out during the summer, but I just discovered Time-Lapse and Predestination a couple weeks ago. They're mind-blowing. I really wanted to see Predestination. I don't know what Time-Lapse is, but... Predestination looked really good. And what did Sean say on the Fancave page? Because he said he also wrote something on there. Or are you too busy looking up the other thing?
No, I got it. Sean said, Age of Ultron. He said, I've only seen Age of Ultron twice, and Jurassic World. Ultron wins because it was more unpredictable.
Which was a weird way of putting it. I don't know if I think of Ultron as unpredictable, per se.
I'm like, what? As if, like, the Avengers weren't going to win in the end?
Yeah, because, I mean,
what did you think was going to happen at the end of that movie? Because the only way that would have been more unpredictable would have been if, like, they killed all of the Avengers.
Right.
And I would have been like,
what? No, I did like Age of Ultron. I think it's kind of the same movie as the first Avengers, just adding Ultron into it. So, like, for me,
I don't know. It was,
it doesn't top the list.
Obviously,
yeah.
Mad Max is like I said, Mad Max is my favorite. I didn't dislike.
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny. I thought it had a lot of good funny moments.
No, I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong here. It's just not my favorite because there's so many good ones that came out, and I didn't feel like, ultimately, it didn't feel super memorable to me compared to a lot of the other stuff I've seen that's been, like, mind-blowing to me. So, Sean, go see more and let us know if Avengers still tops your list.
Right. Well, I think, too, a lot of, and Matt, because Matt Vest was on, Matt Vest of Matt Vest versus his friends, podcast plug there. He said also Age of Ultron because he said he really liked Mad Max, but Avengers was just a little bit more fun to watch. So I wonder too if some of this has to do with like people who are comic people versus not. Yeah, comic, that's true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put words in your mouth, Matt, but I wonder too if little people are like, I kind of like more comic-y stuff. And, you know, comic as in comic books, not comic as in funny.
As in funny. No, that totally makes sense.
You know, so I wonder if maybe that has a little bit to play in it. I don't know. That's just speculation purely on my point of being.
Yeah, no, that's okay speculation.
I'm allowed to do that, right? That's a thing I can do. It's my show, dang it. You need Fig Newtons and Tequila if I want.
It's that kind of night. Lauren says...
Also...
Oh, sorry, what?
Quick note.
Okay.
If you're a big Fig Newton fan like I am, Ralph's, like, Kroger brand fig bars are way better. They're the best Fig Newtons out there.
You know what? Brienne was just saying that you are like an advocate of those the other day. Because when we went camping, she brought Fig Newtons. But I don't know if they were Kroger ones. So I think she thought it was just any generic.
And asked me if those were the right ones.
Oh, okay. Perfect. So she did bring them. But I didn't taste them. So I know my dog wouldn't eat it. But that doesn't mean anything. I don't think that's
saying a whole lot.
No. It was just weird. He didn't even taste it. He like sniffed it and was like, that's not a food. I'm not going to.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust that dog.
Yeah, no, Creeper Dog's weird. We don't trust him. But Lauren says Pitch Perfect 2 had me all the way up until the fury-inducing romance. So I'll have to say Avengers Age of Ultron because Murderbot. That's why. I'm actually not sure what the fury-inducing romance is in Pitch Perfect 2.
Was it it had to been Fat Amy and...
I mean, I guess it must be. I just wasn't infuriated by it, I guess.
I wasn't infuriated by it either. I also was pretty... What's the word I'm looking for? Indifferent to it?
Yeah, like it was just like sort of a random plot
point.
Yeah. It didn't infuriate me. It didn't, get me super excited. It was just there.
It wasn't like this was the best part of the movie, but I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't use infuriating.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Anyway.
I'm sorry to hear that, Lauren. Sean says, this is Sean Ahern, not the other Sean. Avengers because sassy James Spader. Good reason. Poor Court. What?
He was really good at that.
Yeah, he was pretty great. Courtney says she hasn't seen any summer movies yet, so that's sad. Juan says Inside Out, best movie of the year, summer or otherwise. We'll be writing about it for decades. Hear, Juan. Sunil says Tomorrowland. May not be the best movie, but if you know your movies, you can catch all the similarities and references to others. An underappreciated, good film. I agree, Sunil. I agree. Lindsay Bring says, Ty, Inside Out, and Ex Machina. I fell so in love with the world in Ex Machina. I loved that it was more psychological thriller than sci-fi. The cast, of which there are really only 4 people that populate the movie, was incredible. Word. And,
I heard that too. I actually was just talking about that movie today. Didn't really look like one I wanted to see, but
it's so
my friend was
good.
like, it was pretty good. I was like, no, I'm probably not going to see it, but that's cool that you liked it.
Yeah, Ex Machina I absolutely loved, and like I think probably, it's so hard to rank them because I've loved so many movies. So it's like Ex Machina and Inside Out are both probably like Lindsay said, tied. Like, they're both so incredible. And Mad Max. I mean, it's so hard. So, but it's really good. And, like, this is a couple in a row. So then Craig says, is Ex Machina a summer movie? If so, that would be my favorite. Why? I think that the isolation that the director achieves really made this movie work better than it might have in a more populated setting. 2 snaps up. And Brock says Ex Machina, if it can be considered a summer movie. He thought all of the blockbusters had been big blustery messes, but he loved Chappie, which is funny because a lot of people hated that and really liked It Follows, but both of those came out in March, so they don't really count. So Ex Machina definitely made a big imprint, and I agree. Just that blew my mind when I saw it. Michelle says there are a lot of good ones this summer, but so far she's only seen Spy and Jurassic World and enjoyed them both. Sean Thompson, gosh, there's a lot of Seans who commented on this. Says Inside Out, no questions, seen it twice already. Noah says, I'm going to watch Napoleon Dynamite this weekend for probably the 85th time, and I'm going to enjoy it. It'll be the best film I watch all summer, and possibly the only film I don't get out much. Fair enough.
It's so funny because I was hanging out with someone today and they quoted Napoleon Dynamite, which I haven't even thought about in ages. So that's such a weird coincidence.
I know. That's the thing. I was just talking to someone about Napoleon Dynamite like 2 days ago. And like, I don't talk about it a lot, even though I love that movie, but it had just come up. So when he said that, I was like, dude, bruh. So that's probably a sign we should all watch Napoleon Dynamite. I think everybody owns it. So pull out your DVD, watch it. Pierre says Pitch Perfect 2 and thinks that both Pitch Perfect movies are funny. Tom says Mad Max, the camera work, the sound effects, and the characters. Karen's...
Tom, you would say the camera work.
I know, right? Go figure. Karen says, Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl, better by far than the book. It was a movie that made you like the characters. I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, I don't know how a movie with literally the word Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl is going to be your favorite movie of the summer.
Well, I mean, from what
usually movies where your like person you're super attached to dies is traumatic.
Right? Yeah. No, that's not usually like what you're looking for in a summer.
It's not usually something that you want to rewatch.
It's not feel good times.
It's not good the first time, but I'm like, I usually base movies on like I want to watch
rewatchability
Mad Max forever until the end of time.
Totally. I guess that's not how everybody judges their favorites.
I guess not. That is true, and we've already talked about this, so I'm not judging you.
And you know, my thing is, too, like, there are movies that make me cry that I'll watch over and over again. Like, I will watch Swing Kids over and over and over and just sob and sob and sob, you know? Like, yeah. And it's like, why do I do this to myself? I don't know, but I watch it constantly.
You're in for a good cry.
Yeah, like, you need it. You need that, like, just sob your guts out.
You know what? I haven't cried in a while. Mm-hmm. I'm going to watch that.
So Me and Earl and Dying Girl seems like that kind of thing. And from what I gather, it's sort of like, what's the Shailene Woodley?
Fault in Our Stars.
Fault in Our Stars for grown-ups, like, or for everybody. Like, people seem to like it.
I'm like, aren't the kids still teenagers?
Yeah, something like that. But Avery says, Avery says, big screen, Mad Max, and Furious 7. Was Furious 7 summer? That was April.
It was April.
Yeah. So you're pushing it a little bit. Yeah, you're pushing it there whole end. And he says tiny screen, It Follows, and What We Do in the Shadows. Both also not necessarily summer. But I just watched What We Do in the Shadows last night, and it was an A+. So definitely for that.
Never.
Do you say never heard of it?
Yeah, we got to keep going, though. We've got so many things to talk about.
I know. This is going to be a long episode. Everyone needs to deal with it. Okay? Just accept it. Jordan says... Mad Max. I've seen it 5 times, still not sick of it. Last 2 times I was watching it for cinematography, and it was still amazing. Every choice they made was like they made it to fit what I personally liked in action movies. Best action movies I've seen in at least 20 years. And Jordan has to be younger than 29 because he's younger than me, so that's saying a lot. Brittany says Home and Inside Out. Both were so funny and kept even the adults very entertained. Totally going to buy them. I still need to see Home. Definitely.
You haven't seen Home? I thought that was like on your top of...
I know, I wanted to, but it was
in the middle of coursework. I'm going to forgive you for that.
Yeah, I was in coursework and keeping in mind here nothing stays in the theater for more than 4 days.
Gosh, you live in the worst...
I do.
That is such an over-exaggeration.
Yeah.
I legit just watched an interview with Malala, And so I'm like, oh, that's the worst ever. I'm like, not really.
I'm sorry, no, Malala has it way worse. Yeah, okay.
And I gotta try and keep that in perspective.
Let's put that. At least I'm not Malala Yousafzai.
Barbara, at least you're allowed to go to school without being shot by people. God, I'm terrible.
What would Malala say? Oh, God.
Oh, Malala. Gosh, she's cool. Boy. Okay, keep going.
So, Andrew Ho says, dope was dope. I really want to see that. So,
I don't even know where that's playing.
That actually is playing here.
Where I can't find it?
Probably, yeah. But, I mean, I bet it's playing at the Irvine Campus Theater. Ben says Mad Max, because every time I go to the movies to watch something else, I go see Mad Max again instead.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like your style. I
feel good about that. Jack, best thus far, Mad Max. Other notables, Dope and Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. Lindsay, I've only seen Mad Max and Avengers, and that's a tough choice, but Mad Max resonated with me in an unexpected way. Rob, Mad Max, because it's probably the most fun, ridiculous movie I've seen or will see. Amen to that.
That's so true.
Yeah, Jonathan, I haven't seen the new Jurassic Park yet, but I've seen the other couple big ones, and personally liked Ex Machina the best. Lisa, Ex Machina, Forever and Ever.
Was Ex Machina the one where they fooled people at South by Southwest?
Yes, that is the one. We talked about that. They had the Tinder AI.
Yeah, the Tinder one. Okay. Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Carlos says, Far from the Madding Crowd, Ex Machina, Slow West, The Wolf Pack, and Dick Tracy, because Madonna.
Oh my gosh, I love Dick Tracy.
I know. He's 25 years late on that summer movie, but, that's cool.
Oh gosh, I love Dick Tracy. And it had the kid from freaking Hook in it.
And Can't Hardly Wait. Charlie Corsmo.
Oh,
yeah. So there's that.
Full circle. We have come back around. That's been the fan cave today. No, I'm just kidding.
It has been. No. And then on Twitter, I have Andrew London says Inside Out was fantastic. Pixar nailed it. Entertaining and straight to the heart. Truth. Bailey says Spy because it had the phrase, quote, limp dick unicorn. And I could not stop laughing. I don't know the context, but I'm into it.
I'm going to have to watch it. See?
Yep.
Gosh, Duncan and Bailey have made me really want to see this movie.
I know, jeez. Amy says Mad Max because badassery and ladies. And
Heyo.
Joe says Mad Max because Tom Hardy grunts and confused face. Hashtag
Tom
more
Hardy?
clarity than Bane.
Face acting. Acting.
Face acting. Did we miss any on the Fan Cave page?
No, that was it.
Okay, cool.
It was funny because people who were on the Fan Cave page were also on the other one. So.
Yeah, they made their voices heard.
Yep, I've got them. I got Matt, I got Duncan, Sean. So we're good.
Okay, cool.
And
Great. Just wanted to make sure. So, yeah, I mean, there's been a lot.
There's a lot, you guys. There's lots still coming out. We still have Ant-Man to look forward to.
Oh my gosh. I can't even with Ant-Man. Every time I see the commercials. Okay, and so here's the thing is, Gillian Flynn, moving into movie trailers here.
Yeah.
Gillian Flynn, the only one of her books I haven't read is Dark Places. And that's the one they're making a movie out of right now, with Charlize Theron. And Nicholas Hoult. And I connect this to Ant-Man. Yeah, that's, I guess.
I was going to connect it to Mad Max.
Mad Max, clearly. I connect this to Ant-Man, though, because Corey Stoll plays her brother.
Right. You're right, he does.
In it.
I actually thought of you when I was watching. I hadn't seen the trailer yet until you sent it to me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, this is why Corey wants to talk about this.
It was twofold, okay? It was partially because Corey Stoll, and I will watch him read the phone book, and I don't even care. I love that guy. And it's not even, there's the people you'll watch just because they're super attractive,
Right.
Like, yeah, I'd watch Chris Pratt read the phone book too, but it's Chris Pratt, Corey Stoll is like this like bald guy who's like, he's not super remarkable looking, but there's something about him that's super appealing. And so I can't totally like pin down what it is I love about him, but I absolutely adore him. And so he's the villain in Ant-Man, and then in this he plays Charlize Theron's older brother.
I read one Gillian Flynn book, and it's completely ruined me from anything Gillian Flynn ever does ever again. So,
but she's so good.
I'm not gonna see this movie. I'm not gonna read Gone Girl. I'm not gonna watch Gone Girl. I'm not gonna read Dark Places.
You need to watch Gone Girl. Come on, laddie.
I can't. That movie haunted me.
That book, yeah.
We read Sharp Objects for a so basically we're such huge nerds. Not only is the Fancave book club enough, but we have another book club that we're in, and we read it for that, and it wrecked me.
It's insane.
For days, I dreamt about it. I would think about it. It made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah, as it should. So. It's supposed to.
And I understand that, and so that's her shtick. A shtick. I don't want to use shtick in like a blasé kind of way, but I can't think of another word. That's like her thing. Right. Is to probably do that. That's just I can't. I don't want to go. Honestly, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Dark. No, what's the Black Mirror? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Black Mirror. Yeah.
Black Mirror, in the way where it's like, you know what? I understand people like this kind of stuff. It's like super twisted and weird, but I'm like, you know what? I don't need it in my life. Like, right, I don't need to think about that. I watched like 5 minutes of the pilot episode, and I was like, nope, this is not going to be anything that I watch.
In fairness, the first episode of Black Mirror is way worse than any other
terrible,
episode of Black Mirror.
And I'm pretty sure it was made by Satan because it is awful. It is so
horrific.
Awful. You guys, like I said, I watched 5 minutes of it. I still sometimes think about it. I'm like, God, that was terrible.
It's scarring. It really is.
Scarring. And that's how Gillian Flynn, that one Gillian Flynn book was to me. So I'm like, I can't imagine what the more popular ones are.
Right.
Clearly these ones are more popular than that ones. They're making movies out of them. So
yeah. Well, but I think that they have to be less. I don't know about Dark Places because I haven't read it. Gone Girl is not nearly as insane as Sharp Objects was.
Right. Sharp Objects it's probably my least favorite books I've ever read in my life are In the Woods. Which I'm pretty sure I've talked about before on this show. Or In the Woods and Sharp Objects. Those are my two least favorite books
Which are two of my favorites because I like really disturbing stuff and I hate happy endings and I like
happy endings.
Everything to end
You know
badly.
why? Because they don't always happen. So it's nice to see fictional people get happy endings in stories.
It's like you like happy endings for the same reason I hate happy endings. Like, nobody ends happy. F off.
See, Corey, you're a cynic. You probably hate Jurassic World, too.
Maybe. So, Dark Place is coming out. I will see it, but I can't decide whether I want to read the book first or not. So, if anyone has opinions on whether I should, it's necessary for me to read the book first or I should just let it happen, you let me know. But on lighter notes, though, we have Masterminds.
Yeah. Also, honestly, I was not thrilled by any of these trailers that we're talking about.
No, I mean, none of them are...
I'm not going to see any of these movies.
I think I will I don't know if I'll see any of them in theaters.
Masterminds looks like it's trying really hard.
Yeah.
Really hard.
Yeah. Masterminds, I mean, I feel like, here's the reason I thought about this trailer, is just in, the context of, what's the deal with these movies coming out with big ensemble casts of, all the, funny people. At the moment. It just feels like this is a moment where they're just throw every single comedian, person who's been on SNL, whatever, into a movie and
see what happens.
Yeah, see what happens.
Like when you throw noodles at the fridge to see if they're done.
At the fridge?
Yeah.
I thought you were supposed to throw them at the ceiling.
Throw magazine, and in order to see if the noodles were done, you're supposed to throw them at the fridge. Is that not a thing?
Well, I thought it was the ceiling, but I mean the fridge makes more sense because if they are done, then they come back.
You don't have to try and
you don't have to
go
get them back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense. Good job, American Girl. They know what they're talking about. I learned from American Girl magazine to make popcorn and then put cinnamon and sugar in it, and it's the best thing in the world.
Ew.
American Girl magazine was the ish.
American Girl was legit, man. I freaking waited by the mailbox.
Right? It was the one extravagance that I had as a kid because we had no money, but the only subscription I had to anything was that. And then when I was in high school, I got Teen People. But up until that point...
Teen People!
My very first issue was the one that had NSYNC on the cover. I'm sure you can picture that Teen People.
Wait, stop. I need a second.
You see it? Yeah, it's kind of like a bluey cover of them. Oh man, it was amazing. But American Girl had good things to say. But I mean, that's just my thing. Is right now there's this weird phase of just they're almost interchangeable too. That's the thing, is that all these trailers keep coming out. And so, like, I thought that I had seen the trailer for Masterminds already, but I realized I was thinking of something else because I had never seen this. There was just some other movie that has a whole bunch of these kinds of SNL comedians and things in them. And I'm like, I feel like there's just, like, a lot of crap that's coming out. And I will see them all, but not in theaters. I will watch them all on TNT or whatever.
Yeah. I wasn't thrilled. I thought Secret Life of Pets looked so boring that could not possibly have been the plot.
Right? Like, this can't be
there
whole
must be
movie.
more to it. This must be the teaser trailer to, like...
Yeah. And I think that's what it says. It says teaser trailer, but it's 2.5 minutes, you know?
Yeah. I almost turned it off.
Yeah.
Because I was so bored. And it was only 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
You guys. I was like, that's not a good sign. It's like... It's supposed to be like, oh, when you're away, like, this is what your pets do. I'm like, oh, like Toy Story. So they're, like, involved in they've got to save somebody, or there's a plot of some kind. And they, like, the bird was, like, watching a movie.
Yeah,
like,
and the dog that normally listens to classical listens to hard rock.
To rap. And the cat ate the chicken out of the fridge. And I was like...
Oh, that was kind of funny, but...
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah. I think it's, you know, it's just, it feels very targeted at, like, people who are just... Like, it's targeted at like, I don't even think it's targeted at children. This feels like targeted at, like, your friend who's, like, really into their cat. You know? Like, that seems to be what this teaser trailer...
It looks so boring. I was bored.
I know, but, like...
so bored.
Exactly, and it's, like, that person who bores you by only ever...
Like, here's pictures of my cat's... It's my cat's birthday. I'm
right.
Like, I don't care.
Yeah, it's, you know, that's the kind of person that this teaser seems to be.
You guys really like your animals, not to say I don't not like animals.
Right? Like, I love my dog. My dog's cool, but, like, I'm not gonna make you sit here and watch a 2.5 minute video of my dog eating a chicken out of a refrigerator.
Yeah, like, not into it.
Actually, in real life, that would probably be funnier. But,
and then Daddy's Home.
Daddy's Home is probably the one
where I kind of was, like, laughed at it, but it looks like one of the... So I'm, like, one of those people that's, like, those really awkward... And this looks like one of those really awkward moments where it's, like, when they're trying to compete with one another, those make me so uncomfortable. So I'm like, I don't know if I can see this. Although I do love Mark Wahlberg, like, being the hot guy, because I like...
Oh, it's my favorite. Mark Wahlberg just being belligerent hot guy is my favorite. It's kind of like... his normal belligerent characters meets his character from Date Night, you know?
Yeah, oh my gosh, thank you, because I was just about to say that. Steve Carell's like, do you own a shirt? And I'm like, oh my god, please don't put one on, because you're so amazing.
We're fine. Yeah, and so, yeah, I think that's my favorite of the trailers that have sort of come out in the past, like, week or so, or 2 weeks.
About right now, that is,
yeah.
If you were going to force me to see one, I would pick that one.
That would be it. There were a couple other trailers that have come out in the past 2 weeks, but they were, like, a little dark for our taste. Like, there's the new Robin Williams one, his, like, last drama, you know, but I was like, I don't want to bring one up that's just, like, a crying movie. Yeah, just watch Hook. I've made the mistake of watching, like, Fisher King and stuff since he passed, and it's like, this is a bad idea. So I don't know. I'm sure I'll see Boulevard, but anyways, but we also got news that they have officially picked a Spider-Man.
Yeah, what's this bull going on? Because
we were lied to.
If I remember correctly, I was under the impression that whoever gave this quote was, like, high up in the decision-making process and said, for sure. I mean, it was like...
Definitely.
Yes, Spider-Man is going to be either a Latino or a black man.
Yeah.
Or boy, child.
Boy,
student, teenager, whatever. Kid. Teenager. Young man.
Yes.
Young gentleman.
Youth.
And it's another white kid.
It's another white kid. Tom Holland is his name. He's been in very few things. I did watch... How I Live Now, which he was in, which is super depressing, but a really good movie with Saoirse Ronan. And he wears these cute big glasses, and he's adorable, and he dies, sadly.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's great.
So there's that.
See that one.
Spoiler alert. But it's like one of those movies that, like, from the beginning, you're like, this ends well for nobody. This is
the
gonna
dog
be
probably dies in that one too.
Exactly.
Right?
It's that kind of movie. So he's good. He is good. I will give him that. But yeah, it's a little disappointing when you had the hype up. Like, we knew it wasn't going to be Miles Morales. Okay, they're going to make a Peter Parker, but like maybe it's going to be a Peter Parker of color. And then they were talking about like Logan Lerman and that guy who plays Styles on Teen Wolf and stuff. You're like, these are all white kids. Asa Butterfield, or whatever his name is.
That was in the front runner was the kid from Ender's Game.
Yeah, Asa Butterfield, whatever his name is. I have no idea how you say that.
I hold it against him, and I know it's not his fault, but I didn't like Ender's Game. And like, oh, not that kid. Which I'm sure he's a very nice young man.
I'm sure he's great. I don't know. I didn't see it, so
I didn't like it.
Yeah. I didn't expect to like it, so I just went ahead and passed on that. It was like Ender's Game and The Giver came out at the same time, and I was like,
No, it didn't. Ender's Game came out like a year ago.
Did it?
2 years
Well, when did The Giver come out?
A long time ago. I remember because I had just read it. We read it for book club, and I got stuck at my brother's wedding talking to my friend's boyfriend, and he like loves the book Ender's Game. Okay. And he probably talked at me for a good hour, and she left me there with him. And I was like, Caitlin, like, you left me here to talk about Ender's Game. I've read it one time. Her boyfriend's read it like a million. It's like his favorite book ever. And he's like, he knows everything about it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't mean to bring this up. I didn't know it was going to be such a thing.
To be fair, they came out 9 months apart. So that's not a huge amount of time apart, especially because we read Ender's Game and The Giver for book club. And
no, I wasn't there. You guys.
You weren't there yet when we did The Giver.
Yeah.
And so just recently read both of those. I was like, I don't really have a whole lot of hope for these movies. Not that I'm a huge fan of either of those books either. I was a huge fan of The Giver when I was a kid, but as an adult, I'm like, oh, it does not hold up.
I know. But, whatever. We're not gonna get into that. That's a whole other discussion.
Yeah, but regardless.
But yeah. Anyway, so most of it is like I don't know who this kid is, so I'm sure it'll be fine. But it's like going to be another origin story of Spider-Man, which I'm like, we've done that twice now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not. That'll definitely be a renter. Probably.
Yeah, unless I hear that it's like super crazy amazing, I probably won't go see it.
I doubt it.
Maybe dollar.
I'm really surprised if it turns out to be like the Mad Max of whenever it comes out.
Well, yeah, let's not even get that crazy. Like, if it can be the Avengers, Age of Ultron.
Although maybe we should wait until, because the kid is supposed to be in Civil War.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So it's sort of a preview.
So we'll see.
We'll see what happens with that.
What's the kid's name again?
Tom something. Darn it.
Tom? What is he, 40?
In Britain, they're all named Tom. It's Tom Holland.
Like Tom felt like Draco.
Tom Felton. Yeah, Tom Hiddleston.
My dad's name is Tom, so I'm like, what are you, like a dad?
Yeah. No, we don't name kids that here. We name them like Jaden and Kale and things like that.
Carruthers.
Carruthers?
There's I'm in a camp right now. His name is... One guy's name is
First
Caruso.
name.
Caruso. Yeah. Like Robinson.
That's Crusoe. You mean like
Caruso,
David.
Isn't it?
No.
So like David then.
Whatever. Like David Caruso. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And then one was... this was my favorite. I was like... She was asking me something. I'm like, what's your son's name? And she goes, Mavericks. With an S at the end. You know? I'm like...
Multiple Mavericks.
What?
Why? Parents! Calm the F down!
One of these days I should read the list of like preschoolers that I have at my work. You will die.
Like, I want you to. And I want you, more than anything, I want you to read that out loud to them, like over a loudspeaker, and be like, do these sound like names to you?
Did you guys know that Sweden, the Swedish government, will...
Yeah, they'll stop you from naming your kid stupid crap.
Naming your child something ridiculous.
Yeah. The only way that they'll do that here is if you name your kid like Adolf Hitler or something like that. Like,
I don't even think they'll do it then, because
they do. They do that here. It like I remember like 2 years ago there was a case in New Jersey where like a family named their kids like all white supremacy names, and the government was like, no. But like Sweden and like there are other places like that too. Like they have like lists and they're like, no, this is, you can't name your kid that.
No,
for the love.
Mavericks. With an S,
right? Like as if one wouldn't have been bad enough.
Yeah, I know. And he's not there's another kid whose name is just Maverick.
Well,
So
thank goodness
we're big
you can
Top
tell
Gun
them
fans.
apart. Do they call
No
them
S.
Ricky? Or like Rick?
And I'm like, or Mav? I don't know.
Nav?
Like,
I don't know.
What?
Listen, take it from someone named Corrigan, people. Name your kid Tom.
Just name the... It's like a boy named Sue. You're not making a statement. You're not helping them be stronger.
Just makes life so much more difficult.
You're just being a crazy person.
Exactly. So that's our thoughts on that. Tom Holland, good job on your parents. Good job.
We haven't done that in a while.
I know. Why is that a thing?
Got a little hint up, why is that a thing going on? Anyway.
You know what's a thing I like? Ghostbusters.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what's going on in these pictures. Like, zero clue.
Not at all. But they released pictures from the set. Can I just say Melissa McCarthy looks amazing?
She does look amazing.
She's
like her.
She's got this nerd chic thing going on.
And she's just great.
She does.
She looks great.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all it is. And it's, what's her face? McKinnon, right?
Kate McKinnon is like, I guess she's like kind of the Egon-ish.
Kristen
sort of.
Wiig looks like the straight man in this movie, which I think will be interesting.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Although in A Perfect Adoption, she plays the straight character. We're not there yet, but we'll get there. But yeah, I mean, the pictures, they don't tell you like anything really about what's going on. It's just essentially just them on set in costume, but it's like Kate McKinnon's costume's kind of crazy, and yeah, Kristen Wiig was pretty normal.
Not McKinnon.
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy looks a little crazy.
Yeah, and they look like fun. So I'm kind of excited to see how this plays out.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's one of those ones where I'm just waiting. I'm waiting.
Yeah, I mean, give us more. But we've got a lot of time. But the thing is, like, they also just cast Chris Hemsworth. You guys, I don't know if you remember a while back when we had John Vanderhoff on one of our episodes. It was John, right? Was it John who we talked about this with?
The
gender bent Janine? Maybe it wasn't John. We had someone on here. Apologies, whoever it was, if I'm forgetting and it wasn't John. But we had a whole conversation about, like, what if, since they're doing an all-female Ghostbusters, they had a male receptionist playing the Janine role.
So and clearly someone is watching the Fancave.
Yeah, obviously someone's listening. But, I mean, I think we came up with, and I don't remember what any of them were, but we came up with, like, who would be a good, guy version of Janine or whatever. Chris Hemsworth was not on our lists.
No.
I don't even
remember this conversation, so I'm taking your word for it.
Well, okay. Trust me, this did happen. We'll see. Mel, who did we say? You remember everything. But, like, Chris Hemsworth is perfect.
Perfect.
Because he's so incredibly hot and so huge and imposing, but he's also the kind of guy who you can see playing the, like, sort of, like, sassy but, like, timid and...
Yes, here's the thing. I just feel... Okay, so he was in the trailer for the Vacation remake with...
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it was one of the first things where I'm like, oh, you're, like, gonna be ridiculous in this.
Yeah, you are over-the-top ridiculous.
So you're... Right, and so I feel like he's always been in these roles where he's, like, very... It's, like, as serious as you can play, like...
Right, like Captain Kirk's dad just before death,
totally,
or Thor.
Like, he just always seems like the straight man, and so in this I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I see it.
This could work, and so when I heard he was going to be... I mean, I don't even know... We're going to call him Janine.
Yeah, we're going to call him Janine for now.
My first thought was, like, F, yes.
Yeah, it's like, perfect. It's perfection.
It's perfect. Like, I don't even know what his character... I don't know if he's going to be ditzy, if he's going to be really smart, if he's going to be a smart ass. Like, what is he going to be?
It doesn't matter. It's going to be amazing.
I just hope he's kind of like a smart ass that's like, I don't know, like an intern or something. I don't know, something.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think it's fun to imagine him as this side character.
Character.
Yeah, it's like he basically was thrust into leading man right away. And so to imagine him in this role is just so much fun as a person you just sort of come back to in the office. Like, you're going to have those scenes and deleted scenes, but scenes in the movie or whatever, where they just cut to him sitting there while all the girls are out doing their thing and him answering a phone call and saying something ridiculous. And, it's just going to be... Right. I'm stoked on it. I'm totally for that. I think that's brilliant casting. So
Into it. Well
good
done,
job.
Paul Feig.
Yes. Feig? I don't know. It's pronounced differently in every interview I watch, so... Whatever. We'll see. But on the note of Chris Hemsworth, I think we should enter the Chris Pratt corner.
Yes.
Because a thing we learned is that if you put together Chris Pratt and Chris Evans...
Who was this? Duncan?
Duncan
props, sir.
pointed
Cheers,
this out
Duncan.
to us. Someone on Tumblr did this and BuzzFeed picked it up. It's like a face mash type thing, you know, where it's like, what would these two people look like? Not a face swap.
Worst.
No, we know Kristen hates face swaps. And it's not like an if they made a baby, but it's not a baby, it's a full-grown adult. They just mash their faces together, the features, and make one person. And Chris Pratt and Chris Evans put together makes Chris Hemsworth.
And it's like...
It's uncanny.
It's creepy.
Like, to the point where I was comparing features, I was like, they had to have cheated. Like, there's no way this is real. And so I was, like, looking, I was like, well, the nose is so spot on.
You know what my first thought was, oh my gosh, Donna was right. This whole time. We've been giving her crap.
I know, about, like, not being able to get them apart, and
so
they're
Donna,
the same guy.
I'm gonna right now apologize for making fun of you, because clearly
Vindicated. I am
clearly
so
you were justified in your confusion between the Chris's.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. Our apologies from
I'm sorry
the
that the
Fancaves
director
to you.
of the audition you went to pulled up our podcast.
Which is the best thing that has ever happened in the history of the Fancave.
True.
I just can't wait till she's telling this on
when she's on
Corden someday.
Like,
yeah, Graham Norton.
So my friends.
Yeah. Preferably with Chris Pratt sitting on the couch with her.
God,
but
that would legit be the most amazing thing.
yeah, so, but it's crazy, you guys. The link is on the blog. It looks like the Ashmore twins.
True,
like,
which was pointed out by Seth, right? I think he pointed, or did you?
No, I pointed it out, and then he was like, "Oh crap," because he was like, "Oh no, I already couldn't tell these guys apart."
And then can't tell them apart either.
No, I just don't know their names, apparently. Oh god, no, I totally could tell them apart. Yeah,
Scott.
I called him Ryan. His name's Aaron.
It's kind of the same.
It's like, the letters.
With your Boston accent, it sounds like the same name.
Exactly.
Like
see,
orange.
That's all it is. Yeah.
His name might as well have been Orange.
Orange Ashmore.
Orange. That's the other brother. It's like the other Hemsworth, the other Ashmore
yeah, it's
brother.
Sean Aaron Orange.
Oh god.
Poor Orange. Yeah, but and that's who it creates when you put these two together. You get Orange Ashmore as well. It's pretty great. So look at
there he is.
Look at that picture.
And my favorite. Can I talk about my favorite? Chris
Talk
Pratt
about
thing?
your favorite. Mm-hmm.
If you guys have seen Jurassic World, here's the thing too. I just want to mention this before we go into Jurassic World.
Yeah, do it.
Quick side note. Although we've already done 12 million side notes, so I'm sorry.
It's one of those episodes.
After Jurassic World, went back and watched Guardians of the Galaxy.
Lovely.
Remember when Guardians came out, everyone's like, oh my gosh, Chris Pratt, like, oh, he's so, like, hot because he's, like, buff or whatever.
Yeah.
He is, like, way hotter in Jurassic World.
Oh,
and I
absolutely.
think it's because he's, like, takes command of, like, the situation.
I know.
And he, like, cares for these raptors. Right. And they're like, yeah. And it's, like, I don't know what it is. I went back, I'm like, no, I'm not going to take away from Guardians. Still love that movie. It's great. But I'm like,
it's great.
It's, like, a different person. And then I listened to the Nerdist podcast this week.
Yes.
Someone that you had mentioned had posted it. And honestly, the first, like, half of it, I was so bored, I almost turned it off. I'm like, I'm going to see through. Yeah. But this is so boring. Because if they talk about him losing weight for another
like,
minute,
okay, we get it.
Myself. I'm like, we get it. Like, he used to be frumpy. Like, let's move on. Mm-hmm. But he was talking about how in his, he has a team of people that help him with roles and stuff. And he's like, we didn't want to find just another Peter Quill character. And so when this character came along for Jurassic World, and he was even like, Jurassic World, like, that's a franchise, it's so pop, whatever. And he was skeptical about it. But reading the character, he was saying, like, this was so different. Like, yeah, like, he was funny. Like, he said him and Bryce Dallas Howard had, like, a banter going on. But he was, like, very serious person.
He's totally serious.
Background, like, concerned, like, actually concerned about these animals.
Yeah.
About
when people try to make light of things, he's not having it.
He's not having it, And so and so he even said, he's like, for me, and he did a really funny Nick Offerman quote, but Nick Offerman was like, your clown mask is Andy Dwyer, right? Is this, like, goofy, like, stupid guy. And so he's like, it was hard for me to like not try to revert back to that when trying to play Owen. He's like, and so for me, actually, before I actually listened to that interview and we started talking about the character, because I wasn't really sure what I felt about some of Jurassic World, I was like, oh, okay, kind of understanding kind of where he was coming from made it a little bit better.
Well, that's it. Like when we went and saw it, we came out of it. And Wes and Vanderhoff and Juan were like, oh, he was just so dislikable and awful. And Mac and I looked at each other and we were like, were we watching the same movie? Because he was so hot and
best part of the movie.
Yeah.
He was the only person I cared about. Him and Barry, his friend Barry.
Yeah, because that was...
only two people.
We seriously, at the end of the movie, we were sitting in there and we turned to each other and we were like, Chris Pratt. Like, even during the movie, we kept turning to each other and being like, are you seeing how hot Chris Pratt is right now?
Like, so hot. And also, not even, like, aside from the hotness, like, he was legit the only character in that movie I actually cared if he made it out. Him and Barry, when I thought Barry, I don't want to give it away, I guess.
Yeah, don't give anything away here.
I won't give it away. There's one part, and I'm not going to say it, whatever.
Don't.
Now I've kind of...
Barry's great, that's all. That's all
Barry is great, is what you need to take away from this movie. But it was like, Chris Pratt, I didn't really care if Bryce Dallas Howard, like, lived or not. I didn't really care about the kids in the movie. No,
the kids were snotty little bastards.
Sound like a terrible human, but it's like they didn't make you care about them, but for some reason, because he cared, you saw him care about something, whereas, like, those kids didn't really care about a whole lot.
Yeah.
And later in the movie, they tried to force you, like, oh, look, they care about their parents' marriage. And, like, which you haven't mentioned till, like, almost the end of the movie, so I'm not...
Like, you got there was attention in the beginning, but, like,
Right? And you would have missed it if the mom hadn't said that one line, and I wouldn't have even noticed. You know what I mean? So it's like, don't try to make me care about that. But he's the only person that made you, one, care about the dinosaurs, remind you that they're actually animals, like... because he cared, you cared, and so he was the only person I was like actually invested in out of all of the characters.
Which is basically the main flaw of Jurassic World in general, is that you don't care about people the way that you did in all of the other three. It's like, even when the third one is like a terrible movie, you do care about what happens to the characters. And that's where Jurassic World goes wrong, is that you don't care.
You don't really. But in obviously, and I don't know, maybe we are biased, and I don't even care if I am. I'm gonna put that out in front of you so you can make your own decision, but I'm biased towards this, I suppose. I just feel like he played such a different character than you usually see him, because even in Guardians, he played kind of a goofy, he had his serious moments, but he was still a little bit doofy.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas, like, Owen is not doofy.
No.
Like, he's funny, he's got, like, a sense of humor, but
he's definitely not a goofball.
He's not messing around, and so it's so interesting. And anyway, this all to say that if you've seen the movie, or if you've seen any stills of it, there's this picture when Chris... This guy, the point of this movie is that a kid who's like works for Jurassic World has kind of fallen into the raptor pen. Chris Pratt's character kind of runs in to help him, gets him back, and then is like doing this like taming of the raptors sort of deal. And he's like standing there, and he's got his hands out, and he's kind of taming them. And so people have been reenacting it with like penguins or.
My personal favorite is the walruses.
The walruses, and it's like just this funny thing of like zookeepers doing this whole thing. And then of course there's this thing where it's like Chris Pratt being amazing, and he's at a children's hospital, naturally. And he's doing the thing to like these like children
little kids,
and you're like crying. It's like Inside Out. I'm sure I'm gonna be feeling all the feels in that.
Yeah.
But he's like stopping them, and then our friend Phil just posted to this group on Facebook that we have this picture of these like paleontologists or something. They're in museums, and it's dinosaur bones that they have set out. The guy's doing the whole thing. I'm like,
doing the
this
pose.
Is my favorite one by
it's
far.
So good. Oh man. So good. Yeah, so this is a great meme that has emerged from it, and you can see BuzzFeed compiled like a good chunk of these. The Smithsonian one's not on it because this is from like a week ago, and the Smithsonian one was like today that they posted that. Right. But it's a lot of them. And you can see the walruses just make me laugh, because walruses are like the least intimidating looking thing on the planet. Like, I get that they could probably kill you, but like...
Totally. But they could also not care less about that guy's safety.
Right. Like, they're just chilling.
And they're not going to do anything.
Yeah. There's like another one that has like 3 chickens. Yeah. Like, they're just chilling.
It's funny because the animals they're using they're like I said, they're like penguins or whatever it is, and they're like, they don't care what you're doing, and it's just so adorable.
Yeah, so that was pretty great. And then the other thing, okay, so the world is about to break because the most popular movie in the history of time is coming out. Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence are starring together in a science fiction romance.
I think someone's read my diary.
Right?
Here's the thing. I joke that Skynet is real. But it is.
Right?
There's no way that the universe has made a science fiction romance movie with our two favorite people in the history of time.
It makes no sense. Like, it's just, like, how do they... It's like the Netflix algorithm. You're like, this isn't actually an algorithm. You're in my brain. It's so specific.
One time when I'm scrolling through Netflix and it's like, oh, acclaimed, gritty African-American dramas. I'm like, how did you know I love those?
That is what I want to watch.
Also, that's so obscure and not
about
drama.
a single parent with an adopted child of mixed descent. You know, like, it's like, what? That's how I feel about this movie. Like, it's so specific. And it's the dream of a lifetime. It's going to be the most successful movie of all time if they don't Serena it. Like, how could this fail?
It can't fail.
Yeah, it would have to be so bad.
And it won't stop. You guys, what is happening? And here's the thing, we haven't had a lot of Jennifer Lawrence lately. So
I know! I've missed her so much.
I'm sorry, really quick, can we just imagine what the interviews are going to be?
Oh my gosh, the press tour is going to be like, because there's no straight man there. There's no, like, normally she's got Josh Hutcherson or, like, Liam Hemsworth to balance her out.
There's no Dave Bautista.
There isn't. No, this is going to be bonkers.
Straight. They're both going to be drunk.
Yeah, totally. And the stories of the pranks on set are going to be incredible. Let me tell you this and make you the most jealous person in the world, because I'm the most jealous person in the world. Okay. You know Pua from Pub Quiz? Hawaiian lady at Pub Quiz. Okay. Well, there's a woman who goes to Pub Quiz, Geeks Ring Pub Quiz, named Pua. And she has the greatest family on the planet. They're just, like, insane and wonderful and all that kind of stuff. Her daughter is working on this movie. She just moved to Georgia till January to work on this movie.
Corey, that's such a funny coincidence. I've always wanted to go to Georgia.
Right? Like, maybe she's looking for a roommate and an assistant?
Or someone to come visit her for,
just, like, to bring lunch.
4 days.
You know, I know they have craft services and everything, but I'm like, seriously, she needs to become their best friend. I'm just saying. Yeah. This is... Guys. I can't I don't even know how I could live. Like, that set, I would just die. That's all there is to it.
I can't, there aren't,
Yeah, I know. I'm
gonna stop. You guys, when is this even coming out? Do we have any timeline?
It's just, like, it's, like, pre-production or whatever right now. So I'm saying, like, a year and a half.
And it's gonna be, but it's serious, right?
I think so. But, with those two, like, there has to be a comedic element. I think the things have compared it to, like, Gravity. But I don't...
Like,
yeah. But with romance and not terrible, hopefully. Yeah. And not boring and lame. And so...
I'm so excited. I'm going to see it. I don't even care. I haven't even seen a trailer.
No, that's the thing. It's like, we're clearly seeing it immediately. Because if I get to look at J.Law...
drive 3 hours to Santa Maria.
Because I will get to look at J.Law and Chris Pratt for 2 hours. I can't imagine anything I want to do more than that. So...
Let me think about it.
No.
Oh.
Nope.
Nothing.
There's nothing. Except maybe hang out with J.Law and Chris Pratt for 2 hours. But other than that, there's nothing I'd rather do.
What? Universe?
Yeah.
You sometimes really throw us a crap storm, but today you've handed us a gift.
You've done us a solid. Just thanks for that. Yeah. We should move on.
Let's go to TV.
TV.
Let's get back to what Corey wants to talk about, / what I do also want to talk about. And you've actually watched this, and I haven't. As A Deadly Adoption.
A Deadly Adoption.
The Lifetime movie with Kristen Wiig and Will Ferrell.
Yes.
I thought...
I thought this was going to be goofy. Like,
Okay.
I knew they were doing this, and it's sort of like parodying Lifetime movies or whatever, but it's even better than that because they play it straight. It is a straight-up Lifetime movie. Will Ferrell, Kristen Wiig, and Jessica Lowndes from 90210. And it's even better that they don't do it silly because you know who they are, and so you know they're not taking it seriously or whatever, but they're acting, and it's just like a Lifetime movie, and so you're aware of the absurdity without them having to emphasize the absurdity. So just playing it straight but being them, you're aware of, like, this is ridiculous. This is a ridiculous film. But also, it's based off a true story, as most of these Lifetime things are. So, of course, they're not going to, like, mock someone's horrible thing that happened to them,
Right.
And so they play it straight, and it's so worth watching. I enjoyed every single minute of that.
Good.
And, like, I enjoy Lifetime movies, like, they're just they're so dumb, and you watch them and you turn your brain off, and you're just like, anyone that Rob Lowe is in is gonna be a good time. It's gonna be off the wall,
right? And I haven't watched one lately, but the last one I watched was actually combined my two favorite things, which is like over the top kind of movies like that. It was one of the, like, FLDS ones.
Oh, yes, that was right. What one was that?
I don't remember what it was
but that
called.
was a great one.
But
it was so bananas.
So good.
Yeah. So,
wait, was it the one with Fitz? Or
it was the one with Fitz.
Yeah.
Right?
And he was, like,
from Scandal.
So creepy.
Yeah.
Like, I almost couldn't watch Scandal ever again. Because he was, like, ruined it.
Yeah.
He played... you guys... You have to watch it. I don't remember what it's called.
I know. I'm sorry we're failing you on that, but it's the FLDS.
It's one of those things that we talk about but don't
movie.
really know what we're talking about.
Yeah. But we both watched it, so...
We both watched it, and it was...
That's our expertise.
I remember my brother and I were watching it at the same time or something, and he's texting me, and he is like, what the F is this here? Because he was like, oh my gosh. Like,
yeah.
Oh my god, it's
good. So bonkers. And, like, it's just Lifetime movies, that's how they are, and they're fun.
Totally.
And so I actually recommended Deadly Adoption. It was everything that I like about Lifetime movies, and then adding Kristen Wiig and Will Ferrell. Yeah, also, Will Ferrell. Apparently, was it called Outlaw Prophet? That doesn't sound like the right name.
Yeah, Outlaw
that was
Prophet,
what it was called.
Warren Jeffs. TV movie.
Yeah. You guys, both of those you need to see. Outlaw Prophet and also A Deadly Adoption. That's all I'm saying. That was my TV thing of the week. But we also got another teaser trailer that's almost as vague as the first teaser trailer we got for Wet Hot American Summer. But we did get to see some clips. Kristen, have you seen the original Wet Hot American Summer?
I haven't. Ooh. Yeah, someone tagged me in it. I think it was Jerry, and I was like, I haven't seen this. I don't care.
Oh, you have to watch it. It's on Netflix. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
I mean, this is Bradley Cooper before Bradley Cooper was anybody. Yeah. And it's like the
I still claim liking Bradley Cooper for anybody because I loved him in Alias, and that was also before he was anybody. So
this is true.
I will still watch this, but I'm just saying I was also on the Bradley.
You're on the early Bradley Cooper bandwagon. That's totally fine.
I'm still claiming it, even though I wasn't on Wet Hot American Summer. Yeah. He was still nobody in Alias.
Yeah, it's just that with Wet Hot American Summer, when you watch it, you're going to be like, oh yeah, there's no way if they made this movie now, with the rest of that cast and the character he plays, that they would get Bradley Cooper for this. There's just no frickin' way. And it's so great. And so they released a trailer, and one of the gimmicks from
Can you tell me who that voice is? Because it sounds.
It's H. John Benjamin, aka Bob from Bob's Burgers and Archer.
Because it drove me crazy, and I'm like, how do you even look up narrator of Wet Hot
American
Summer? Like, is that a thing you can even Google? I don't know.
Yeah, so here's the thing, is in Wet Hot American Summer, Christopher Maloney plays this sort of, like, deranged cook. And Christopher Maloney, when he plays ridiculous characters, is the best thing on the planet.
Okay, let's go back to, what's it called?
They Came Together?
They Came Together.
Yeah. Like, he's so freaking funny. And so he plays this weird cook in it, and he talks to, like, a can of vegetables that talks back. And the voice of this can of vegetables is H. John Benjamin. And so, like, Kristen, this movie is so bonkers. You need to watch it.
Okay. I'll watch it.
And
I mean, I'm not past bonkers movies.
Yeah, no, you have to prepare for how bonkers it's going to be, but it's great. And so this trailer that they put out is narrated by H. John Benjamin. So I'm like, is this ad for the summer camp narrated by the can of vegetables? And if so, is it in Christopher Maloney's head?
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of it, but I'm into it.
Or he's seen something with that voice, and now that is the voice.
So I don't know. Yeah,
I will tell.
There's multiple variables, but it's in this like VHS with like the tracking sort of thing. It's very old school and retro, and that's hip right now.
I just didn't get it.
Yeah, so. No, that's fair. That's hip right now. So, check that out. That's on the blog. What you watch that I know you understand. Anchors Away.
Okay, so what was it? A couple weeks ago, Corey, they had posted like a snippet. Yeah. So I remember, I don't know if we even talked about this, but a while ago we were excited because Mindy Kaling was like posting these things on Instagram, like, so Joseph Gordon-Levitt has his Hit Record kind of channel or show that he does, right, where it's like a collaborative kind of
art
show
project, yeah.
And so Mindy Kaling had written something for it, and we were beyond excited, because at first we thought it was going to be a Mindy project, and then realized it wasn't. Yeah. But it's Chris Messina, obviously, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, like, dancing. Like, I mean, it's like Gene Kelly kind of dancing. So we were like, this is going to be amazing. Oh my gosh. And so they just released the kind of full segment that was on Hit Record, and it's called Anchors Away, and it was written by Mindy Kaling, and it's got her and Chris Messina and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and it's them basically on a green screen, and it's so just wonderful and amazing, and
it's kind of depressing, dancing. So of course it's perfect for me. It's
depressing, but I do wish there was a a little bit more dancing in it, but it is just
it's really
great.
Short.
Where he's like, hey kid, I also dropped it too hard. When he does that whole scene, I'm like Lauren, you guys, who's our Cumberbatch correspondent, who, by the way, Benedict had his baby. We should probably mention.
I know. That.
Congratulations, Ben. Like, that's so great.
So wonderful.
She's been texting me for the past few days. She's been binging Mindy. She hasn't watched it before. And she's like, when are they going to get together? All this stuff. And so I sent her this video, and she was like, that was, like, so great, but also so depressing. So many emotions right now. I was like,
all the emotions. It's so good. So check out that link on the blog. You will not be sorry. It's like Mindy Kaling playing a dark magic practicing witch named Bella Obscura. And, like, it's great. It's wonderful and whimsical, but it's also depressing. So it's really, there's something for everybody in there.
Yeah, so those of you who love depressing movies and those of you who like to escape, this is for you.
Yeah.
All within 5 minutes.
Hits all the right notes. Kristen, we've been talking forever.
We have been.
This is what happens, you guys. You leave us for 2 weeks. You give us a little alcohol. And we just...
Fig Newtons.
We just get going. Listen, we have a book club that we're starting back up. We need to talk about... All the Light We Cannot See, so we'll put a date.
It is. Do you want me to say anything about it?
You can say something, that if it, whatever.
I loved it.
Perfect. So we want to talk about that. We will come up with a date. We're going to put that on the blog.
I loved it. I loved it.
This book broke her.
I loved everything about it. It was so good. I can't wait to talk about it.
Oh man, I can't wait to finish it now. I just have to dig it out of whatever pile it's in at this point.
It's great. It's so good. Oh,
I know everyone loves it. And so we need to talk about it. Guys, if you haven't read it yet, get it from your library, get it on your Kindle, get it wherever you get books from, whatever your bag is. Get All the Light We Cannot See. We'll talk about it. We're going to put the date that we choose up on the blog and on the Goodreads, and we will discuss this. We'll get back up. After that, we're going to read The Martian so that we're ready for that movie to come out. For Interstellar 2. Matt Damon's not a dick. And then we also are going to read after that Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. So you guys, we've got a great lineup of books. Procure them. Get yourself on those wait lists at the library if that's what you do, so that those books come in when you need them. And let's read this summer. It's time to do that. It's time to read.
I just ordered Dead Wake on Amazon.
Dead Weight?
Dead Wake.
Oh, Dead Wake! Oh, man. I'm only halfway through that, but it's so good. It's so good.
Of course it is.
Because Eric Larson is amazing.
I don't know if we talked about Eric Larson and how much we love him and are amazing. We love him. He's so great.
He's amazing. He's our Shelby Foote now. Yeah. He's amazing.
He's so good. Anyway,
yeah.
We're really
so check the blog, read the books. Let's do this.
Read all of them. Read all of them.
All right. So thanks for listening, sticking it out, and thanks everybody for listening while we were on our little week-long hiatus. The numbers were really good and surprising. I'm glad you didn't forget about us while we were gone. That's really touching for us.
That is touching.
It makes us feel happy.
Stop it, you guys. Just kidding. Keep watching.
No, just keep doing it. Keep paying attention to us. We need your affection. But no.
Validate us.
Validate us. No, we're just glad you're here. And we're glad that you're enjoying the things that we're talking about and that you're passionate about what we're passionate about. Because that's what life's all about, is finding people you can share this with.
Oh, I found the quote.
Oh, yeah. And the Mike Mulcher quote is a good one to...
Mike Mulcher. So those of you who missed it, if you want to go back to last August, we interviewed Mike Mulcher from 2000 AD, which puts out Dredd, Judge Dredd, for those of you who don't know. He was wonderful and amazing. And just a treat. And he spoke that Corey captured, which I love in this. He said, the best thing that can happen to a human being is to find out they're not alone. Ugh. And I love that. I love that.
Good.
And I think it's so true, you know?
Yeah.
Especially in light of, I don't know, I think in light of a lot of the not so great stuff that's going on right now, it's like, you know what, though? You're not the only person that's going through that. And so don't feel like you have to suffer it alone. And I think there's places you can go for help. And while sometimes there can be a stigma on those types of things, like, please don't let that deter you from talking to people about it. So. Anyway.
Amen. Well said, laddie. If there's one thing you can take away from all of this ranting, that's a good one. So make sure that you follow us on all the things on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. Look for us, The Electric Fancave, and for our accounts, Kristen Latterell and Corrigan Vaughn. You'll find us on the Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. So for this week, I'm Corrigan Vaughn.
And I'm Kristen Latterell.
Peace out, everybody.
Take it easy, kids. I just want to see you.
I know. Kristen!
I want to see where the people are. I want to see them dancing, walking around on those, what do you call them?
Yeah, I will tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Hey, your video's not on.
I know.
Oh.
I didn't know that. That's not the thing that I know.
What do you got there?
Patron. Yeah. I feel like I should have gone with something a little lighter, but I'm already doing this, so.
We're in, so let's do it.